Welcome to Step Up with DL Walker. At any time during our live vidcast premiere, you can ask questions of myself or our guests by typing your question in the box called Top Chat, located in the right-hand corner of your screen. If you're watching a recording and have a question, just type your questions in the comments box below, and we'll be sure to respond. At any time, check out the information box because it contains contact information and special offers from DL and our guests. That's located underneath this video. Enjoy the vidcast, and if you find this information helpful, please give it a like and share it with anyone whom you feel may benefit. Thanks so much for watching, stepping up for your health, and please do be in touch. Hey everyone, meet Naomi, and she is an empowerment expert and body coach. Her vocation is to change the outdated ways that we lose weight, and she's developed online wellness programs, holds live events, and speaking gigs. She's written 4 recipe books exclusive to her program, Badass Beat the Bulge, and has been successfully helping thousands of people for over 27 years in the industry. Her clinical trials and her own weight loss journey are what inspired her program, and as well as her trademark technique called the Metaphase Method of weight loss. She considers herself a research queen and certainly a lady who knows her stuff. And today she's going to talk about the FATO gene and how to combat it. So welcome, Naomi.
All right. So here I am with Naomi Gillespie, and we are going to talk about a weight loss program for individuals who have hormone shifts and tend to put on weight. And I know that I can certainly relate to this. So Naomi, explain this whole thing to us.
Okay, so I created a program called Badass Beat the Bulge, specific to women about 35, 36 up. That's when our hormones start to shift. We start to get that body shape change, and our midriff definitely changes. That hormonal tire, as we like to call it. It's also for those people that have that genetic taint to put on weight naturally. Those people, everyone has a gene called the FATO gene, but it's whether you have double allele, double SNP within that gene as to whether you're predetermined genetically to be obese and basically fight weight your whole entire life. I have a double allele and a double SNP on that gene. And so do a lot of my patients when they do their DNA wellness testing. It's really, really interesting. So what that means is people that have that genetic profile, they need to do different types of exercise. They have to eat different foods. They have to exercise more than others. And that's basically their lot in life. And it's nice when you do a DNA wellness profile because people understand that. And I say knowledge is the key, and it is. It creates this massive energetic shift in people. It's like instantaneously they stop comparing themselves to others. They really understand they have to work harder, but it becomes okay. They're not sitting there in the gym and looking at people that have, trained for 6 weeks, lost 6 kilos, keep it off, and are doing, 20 minutes of exercise on a bike. These other people have to do, HIIT. They're very strong. So like you and I, DL, we're really strong. So we lift way heavier than a lot of other women. We put on muscle generally quicker than we burn fat. So in the process of losing weight, we actually look bigger, and then all of a sudden we look smaller. It's a phenomena with our body typing, that endomorphic body typing. So, there are people that are fortunate that don't put on weight easily, and that's 5% of our populace. There's like our marathon runners, those slim gyms, really lean muscle mass, find it really hard to put fat on. Those people that have to take supplements to put fat on. That amazes me. Lucky them. Want to kill them, love them anyway, just saying. So that 5% of the populace, even at that, 35, 36, unless they keep doing what they've always done, they have a tendency also to put on midriff weight. So with Badass, I actually designed it for me. You can't get worse genetics than mine, I can tell you that much in reference to the FATO. I call it the FATO gene for obvious reasons. So I actually designed it for me because I'm a naturopath and functional medicine pracky, and I eat like that. I don't eat flavors, colors, preservatives, things out of bottles, dairy, grains, high glycemic load vegetables, bread. I don't eat that stuff. I just eat really healthy all the time, and I always have. That's normal for me. And then I'd train 1.5 to 2.5 hours a day, and I was just getting bigger. Funny that, right? Overtraining for our body types, bad. But you get in that position where you're like, doing everything right and I'm training, maybe I have to train some more. And that's just that psychology in this wellness industry, train more, eat less. Bad combination. That always backfires. And it did, and it backfired in so many of my patients. I started to get frustrated because I was like, I literally do everything that I was taught. I'm doing everything right. They're not getting the results and neither am I. What do I do about this? Do I go and get lap band surgery? And that's the point I got to because I was training so hard and eating so right, I'd run out of ideas. I just remember sitting on the end of my bed one day and crying, going, I'm going to have to get lap band surgery. If this is my life and I'm just getting fatter, I'm just going to end up so big, it's going to kill me. And that's where I got to, DL. Crazy. And I went, you know what? I think I've got an idea here. So I just started to research. Some days I was researching 17 hours a day. What I did find is clinical trials and research papers, the most recently released one, had a real, released ones had a great deal of information that I agreed with. And everyone had all these fabulous ideas and positive clinical trials, double-blind placebo trials that came out with all this amazing information. The thing that I realised is that once people do a research paper or a clinical trial, they just go to the next thing. The thing they don't do is gather the information, squish it all together to make up something awesome and different. So that's what I did with Badass. And that's where I invented what we call the Metaphase Method of Eating. It's a rotational eating plan. So it stimulates your metabolism continuously. You're changing the volume of food. You're changing the timing. You're changing the macros all the time. And in the process of that, you're doing little mini detoxes every 6 to 12 weeks. And what I found with my pilot trial, my subset of women that were like very overweight, doing everything right, nothing was working, all those ones, it worked. And I was like, come on, this can't be right. I did it on myself and I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. It worked. So then I put into place different elements like them, understanding as women, we quite often don't understand our biology. We don't understand even the simple fact that we have 3 types of estrogen. We don't understand that testosterone can affect us, or if we have low progesterone.
Yeah.
We don't understand the control of dopamine on the volume of food, our satiety center, and us craving things that we shouldn't for pleasure and reward. That if that's not okay, we're not okay. We don't investigate our emotional triggers in reference to binge eating, overeating, emotional eating, eating at period time. We don't investigate those. We go, oh, that's just what I do. So the whole point of Badass is to do a rotational food plan that keeps kicking your metabolism's butt and keeps getting you results, even moving you off the set point. And I created a different book for that. So when people reach a set point, I created a recipe book just for set point to align with the set point theory, that your body keeps going back to a certain weight. Even when you lose it, you'll put it back on and it'll go exactly to that weight. So I've learned a way to crush the set point as well within the program. And the biggest thing that I find is in Badass, it's not even, it's not about weight. It's like your journey of yourself and the side effects weight. And that's what I've discovered doing Badass for all this time now, that's what it's actually come down to. So in the beginning, I was like, I've got this really cool method, it works, it gets people's weight off. It's amazing. That was all well and good. But the biggest thing that I found, Badass brings women back to themselves, back to their worth. It makes them not be invisible in their own home, and they declutter their head, their heart, and their home, and they face up to things within their relationships. They create intimacy and connection again, and they just become aligned with what they want in life. So Badass is about investigating really simple theories of, are you happy? Just a simple question. Are you happy? Are you doing what you love? Do you have joy every day?
Right.
Do you belly laugh? Are you intimate with your partner, not even in the sexual way, but in the emotional way? Do you communicate effectively? How does your house run? Are you appreciated? So all that stuff is actually part of Badass. And I think out of everything that comes out of it as weight loss as a side effect, the best thing that I've realized is it brings people home, women home to themselves. And I think that's the magic that I learned. And I didn't set it out that way. That literally was not my intent, but that's how it's turned out. So it's a women's empowerment program, and weight loss is sort of a side effect. And you get to eat really cool food.
So let me ask you a question, because we talked about set point, and
Yep.
you know, many people would say that losing weight is easy. I would argue that point. But I, you know, many people find that maintaining the weight loss is where the real challenge is.
Yeah.
How is this program different? Because, you know, most traditional methods of diet do, quote unquote, fail. So tell us about how that doesn't happen.
95% of people that start a diet fail a diet, and they'll do it within the first 3 weeks. A high majority of people do it in the first 2 days. So with like Badass, what I've created is a perpetual food plan. So you start from the top and it goes down weeks, and then you get right down to the bottom, you start from the top again. So there's and as humans, we have about 10 recipes that we use all the time. That's what we do in a household.
Right.
So I have over 100 recipes there. And the whole purpose of a perpetual eating plan is that it doesn't end. So lots of food plans, you'll see they go for 6 weeks, or they go for 12 weeks or 16 weeks. This one, it just keeps going. The great thing about it is because it's a ever-changing plan, your body doesn't get used to food type or volume of food. So volume, type, and timing, I've found, is the key. If you keep rotating that and mixing that up with your body, it's like the body doesn't get bored and stuck and stay on the same weight. But for my women, the thing that I found to keep their weight off, you know what, DL, it's actually not even the food, and it's not even the exercise. I found that the secret to women and anyone keeping their weight off is understanding the things that make them be unwell, fatigued, overwhelmed, tired, emotional eating, binge eating, or just eating too much volume of food. Some people have weird stuff like, I don't want to throw out food. So they actually eat all the leftovers as well as their own food, or they're full and they keep eating off their plate for simple stuff that when they were little, they didn't have much food in the house. So in their mind, they're being disrespectful because what happens if they don't have food? And so there's all this emotional background, childhood stuff that we need to look at, the triggers and emotional regulators and their person's ability to deal with external stressors. That's the stuff that keeps people's weight off. Food and exercise does not keep people's weight off if you can't be consistent with it. So it's finding what's the point that makes someone not be consistent. That's the secret to weight loss. And that's the secret to no rebound fat gain. And that's the secret to them not putting that weight back on and getting back to that damn set point again. That's the key, because people can train and eat and do all the things they like, but at some stage they go backwards. So it's getting that apex point of what makes them go backwards so they can continue the momentum and keep going forwards and not get that weight back on.
Now, how difficult is it to follow?
Easy.
Okay.
So I wrote all the recipes. So there's 4 recipe books there. It's really quite cool. I'm super busy, just like you. We're all busy. No one has time. Let's face the facts. And we can say, oh, make time all you like. That's hard to do as well. So everything that I wrote in Badass, I did it so that all your meal prep takes half an hour or less to do.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's prepping on Sunday, getting things frozen in advance, prepping 3 days worth of food, or getting up in the morning and doing your prep for the day, it's all completely manageable. And that's one of the things I found in lots of programs when I researched them. I would look at them and go, next. If you saw how many programs I bought as research, it'll blow your mind. And some of the stuff that I saw, I was like, you're really selling this? This isn't okay. And I just wanted to do better. So I kept looking and researching and going, I can't believe you're telling people this stuff. This is not okay. So that's why I decided to make a change. And that's where Badass came from.
So let's end up with what are the top 3 fallacies associated with some of that research that you came up with? What are some of the 3 biggest misconceptions around?
Okay, yeah. The worst ones, the ones that are my pet peeves. My pet peeves are you have to train really hard and starve yourself, right? To get results. The other one that peeved me off that came up a lot, which I thought was weird but interesting, is that you're born that way. It's your genetics. So they believe that people with those genetics, once again, you should eat less and train more, when in actual fact the opposite is true. And the other thing is, with lots of the diet plans that I researched, you have to have all these fabulous supplements and do all these amazing things, spend a lot of money to get your results. That's not true.
Right.
So when you look at the supplements, the quality of them and the volume of therapeutic ingredients that have any biological action in the body is quite this much. That's not okay. And that's where I have an issue with crappy products that are low grade and selling to people that don't know any better, because that's not their job to know.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Saying if it doesn't work you give it, for me in clinic, I say, give it 4 visits, but I think that that's pretty high. I mean, if it's the right thing, it's almost like an antibiotic, right? The right antibiotic, it's going to work, and it's going to work.
Right.
And if it's the wrong one, it's not going to work. So I kind of use that antibiotic rule for almost anything. It's like, what, if this is working, and I know for myself pretty quickly, again, I usually advise other people to give it maybe, 2 to 4 visits, but for me, it's usually 1. I know right away, is this going to work? Is this not going to work?
Yeah.
And, so thank you for sharing that. And you were just talking about supplements, and I know that you're coming out with a protein powder. So why don't you talk about that?
Oh my God, this is amazing. I'm actually a bit excited. We've got a new protein powder coming out, and it's our business is Opt for Lifestyle. Opt meaning OPT, which is only positive thinking. So we've created a product along the lines of being conscious and mindful when you drink it. So we bring in a mantra or a memory of where you did really well whilst you're drinking it, to be conscious and set your day up with intent. That's part of our business model. But the protein powder itself, we've done a hydrolyzed collagen protein, so it's really easy to digest. But within that protein, we've got herbs and nutrients and amino acids for mood energy, and hormones. And that's all within a protein powder drink that lots of people take every day for training or just for breakfast to throw in their smoothie, or their oats, or I pop mine in my coffee and put some fat in it, make a keto coffee. But our protein powder is specifically designed to detox the liver, support hormone metabolism and clearance through the liver, protect the gut, put probiotics, digestive enzymes, and short-chain fatty acids in there, so for good gut health, immune response, and your neurotransmitter response. And then we've also put things like iron, magnesium, B complex, vitamin D. So we're not just looking, so we're looking at obviously symptomology for women, PMS, all the hormonal pathways, so they metabolize effectively, and vitamin D, immune system, bones. And then we also put L-theanine in there that's specific to sleep, stress, anxiety, fatigue. So it's an amino acid. In the men's, and we put milk thistle for liver clearance, and we put some ashwagandha in there for adrenal cortex and nervous system. The men, I put some broccoli sprout. I threw some broccoli sprout powder in there for the women as well, and some shatavari as well as a hormonal balancer, that you know, the queen of herbs. In the boys one, I popped tribulus in there at a really nice therapeutic dose for the boys, for their muscle fatigue, recovery, bulk, testosterone production and conversion, and their mental and mild fatigue. So the protein powder isn't just any other protein powder. It's actually like a nutritional supplement in a protein powder, specifically made that you can have it as a daily dose and start to effectively treat your mood, increase your energy production, and create calm, help you sleep better, and help you metabolize and clear your hormones.
Awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
We find out about all of this stuff. So I think what I normally do is I put this information down below in the information box under the video.
Yeah.
Naomi will be kind enough to share that with me so I can do so. But Naomi, thank you so much for spending some time and talking about badass and opt
for lifestyle, people. OPT, only positive thinking.
Love it. I love it. All right. Bye.
Love you. Bye, babe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Step Up with DL Walker. For any information about our guest, it'll be found in the comments box below this video. For more information on how you can recover from injury, restore vitality, and gain resilience from disease and trauma, all in the comfort of your home, click the link on the screen. Until next time, take good care of your body, mind, and spirit. It's the only true home that you really have.